Top 10 largest animals in the world. The blue whale only ranks second. Number 1 weighs a staggering 380,000 kilograms, equivalent to 126 elephants. In prehistoric times, Earth's climate was much warmer than it is today. Oxygen levels were significantly higher. This provided more favorable conditions for the growth of animals. And so, giants were born. Some weighed as much as a Boeing jumbo jet. With bodies like mobile skyscrapers, even the weight of a single heart could easily surpass that of a small family car. So, who exactly is the true heavyweight champion of the world? In today's video, we explore the world's 10 largest super creatures. When it comes to centipedes, I'm sure everyone is familiar with them. Usually, if you encounter one as thick as 2 fingers, it is already enough to give you quite a scare, let alone one thicker than a human. Yet, this is not a sci-fi fiction, but a true depiction of Arthropleura, which lived 345 to 290 million years ago. Arthropleura could reach lengths of 2.5 meters and widths nearly 0.5 meters wide, making it the largest invertebrate ever known. This massive size allowed it to dominate the ecosystem of its time, looking like a colossal millipede. It possessed up to 30 pairs of legs. Just imagine walking through an ancient forest and suddenly meeting such a monster. It would be both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Despite its ferocious appearance, Arthropleura was actually an omnivore. Feeding on decaying plants and other small organisms, they were almost blind, but had incredibly keen senses of smell and touch. The emergence of Arthropleura dates back to the Carboniferous period, 100 million years before the age of dinosaurs. The climate during this era was humid, with dense, lush forests perfect for these giant arthropods to thrive and proliferate. With their robust bodies and agile movement, they moved effortlessly through ancient jungles. In that environment, they had almost no natural enemies, becoming top-tier predators of the food chain. The success of Arthropleura was inseparable from the abundant vegetation of that time. The existence of giant plants provided them with plenty of food, while the humid climate created ideal conditions for their survival. However, during the Permian period about 250 million years ago, the climate gradually became arid and the environment changed drastically. The habitat of Arthropleura began to shrink until they finally vanished from Earth's history. Though Arthropleura has disappeared from nature, its fossils have been discovered worldwide. These fossils not only provide paleontologists with vital clues for studying the evolution of ancient life, but also give us a deeper understanding of that distant history. In the late 19th century, American paleontologists first discovered the fossils of a giant canine. This animal was named Epicyon. Its name is derived from Greek, meaning beyond dog, indicating its size and characteristics far exceeded our usual perception of canines. Epicyon lived approximately 16 million to 5 million years ago. It is one of the largest known canids to ever walk the earth. Its body length could reach up to 2.4 meters, with a shoulder height of up to 90 centimeters, and it could weigh well over 100 kilograms, with some individuals even reaching 170 kilograms. The dental and jaw structure of Epicyon showcases its formidable predatory capabilities. Its upper jaw featured large canines, perfectly designed for tearing into prey, while its molars were specially adapted for grinding through meat and bone. This massive bite force allowed Epicyon to hunt relatively large animals, including prey of that era, such as ancient camels and other large mammals. The lifestyle of this carnivore was quite similar to that of modern large canids. At that time, North America enjoyed a warm climate with lush vegetation, forming a rich ecosystem that provided a diverse supply of prey. These climatic conditions offered an ideal environment for the survival of large predators. Meanwhile, competition between Epicyon and other carnivores likely drove it to adapt quickly and evolve even more powerful hunting skills. Beyond its massive size, Epicyon also displayed several unique anatomical features. For instance, its limbs were relatively long, suited for high-speed running, indicating high agility during the hunt. Furthermore, research suggests that its skeletal structure was incredibly robust, capable of withstanding the strain of long-distance chases and the physical demands of taking down prey. This gave it a physiological edge during the predatory process. However, the climate gradually cooled and the ecosystem shifted. Many large animals, including Epicyon, slowly began to disappear. The decline of ancient prey likely led to the collapse of its food chain, ultimately resulting in the extinction of this giant canid. So the evolutionary tree, Epicyon, is one of the early ancestors of modern canines. Its lineage gradually evolved into different dog species. The characteristics and habits of this prehistoric creature provide us with vital clues to understanding the evolution of modern dogs. Many dog species today, such as wolves and hounds, can be traced back to the genetic lineage of these canids. We often see all sorts of terrifying creatures in movies, like the giant snakes in Anaconda. But does such a nightmare fuel monster actually exist in the real world when we turn back the clock to the Paleocene epoch 60 million years ago? We find ourselves in a world where Titanoboa ruled the Earth. Its body length could reach a staggering 12.8 meters, roughly equivalent to the length of a small bus. Its weight could reach up to 1,135 kilograms, compared to the largest snake today, the green anaconda. The latter's maximum length is only about 5 to 6 meters, with a weight barely exceeding 100 kilograms. Titanoboa's habitat was as grand as its size. According to fossil discoveries, Titanoboa primarily lived in tropical swamps and the humid environments along riverbanks. Such an environment not only provided abundant food sources, but also offered a perfectly concealed sanctuary for their survival. Truly, it was the ultimate apex predator of its time. Of course, the reason why the Titanoboa could grow to such a colossal size involved more than just environmental factors. It was also closely tied to their own physiological traits. First of all of their organs and bones were arranged within the body to form an incredibly flexible and agile structure. This allowed them to easily navigate various complex hunting environments. Secondly, the Titanoboa possessed a massive mouth and jaw, capable of opening wider than 2/3 of its body size. A maw like this did not just allow them to easily swallow prey even larger than themselves. It also guaranteed they were absolute powerhouses when it came to hunting and feeding. Furthermore, the Titanoboa's skin featured many folds and pits. These structures increased their surface area, making it easier for them to dissipate heat in hot and humid environments. They would stretch out their bodies to transfer body heat directly into the surroundings. To maintain a stable temperature, this unique method of cooling allowed them to survive in extreme conditions. During the era of the Titanoboa's reign, they sat firmly at the top of the food chain, virtually without any natural enemies. Their primary diet included 4.57-meter-long Dirosaurus, 3.05-meter lungfish, and some of the large turtles of that time. The Titanoboa's hunting style was incredibly cunning. They usually chose to lie in ambush underwater, launching a sudden strike as prey swam overhead. Relying on sheer muscular strength, they could rapidly constrict their prey to death. Although the Titanoboa's eyesight was poor, their thermal imaging ability was exceptional. In their world, any animal emitting heat radiation would be highlighted, instantly becoming a potential target. This gifted ambush capability made them nearly invincible in the rainforest. I am sure many of you are familiar with the largest living crocodile, the saltwater crocodile. With its terrifying size and massive bite force, even smaller leopards can end up as just another snack for them. However, between 133 and 112 million years ago, there was a prehistoric beast called Sarcosuchus, which was several times more terrifying than a saltwater crocodile. Sarcosuchus, whose name literally means flesh crocodile, once prowled the hot and humid Sahara plains. They drifted silently between lakes and rivers. They could reach lengths of 9 to 9.5 meters, and their weight was even more staggering, topping out at over 4,000 kilograms. That is equivalent to the weight of 2 or 3 saltwater crocodiles. The skull of the Sarcosuchus was essentially a terrifying killing machine. At about 1.5 meters long, it was nearly as tall as an average adult human. Its upper jaw was longer than the lower, creating a significant overbite. But this did not hinder its hunting efficiency one bit. On the contrary, this structure allowed its mouth to open wider, increasing its ability to capture and tear apart prey. The most bone-chilling part is that its massive jaws were filled with 132 thick, conical teeth like rows of railroad spikes. They could easily grab, clamp, and shred any victim. In addition, the Sarcosuchus's back was covered in a layer of hard osteoderms. These scales acted not only like armor to protect it from injury, but they might have also helped support its massive body. However, these armored scales also limited its flexibility, making Sarcosuchus slow and clumsy on land. But beneath the waves, it was the absolute sovereign, armed with a keen sense of smell and a crushing bite force. It could easily locate and seize its prey, whether it was large fish, turtles, or even small dinosaurs. None could escape its lethal clutches. It is said that, at the very tip of the Sarcosuchus snout, there is a peculiar depression, known as the bulla. Yet, the purpose of this structure remains a mystery to this day. Some scientists believe it might have enhanced the Sarcosuchus' sense of smell, while others suggest it served as a vocal organ, used to communicate with its kind or attract mates. During the reign of Sarcosuchus, the Sahara Plains were teeming with life. Lakes and rivers dotted the landscape, lush with thick vegetation where various dinosaurs thrived. However, for them, the presence of Sarcosuchus was undoubtedly a living nightmare. Sarcosuchus often lurked where dinosaurs came to drink. When prey drew near, it would launch a sudden explosive attack, dragging the victim into the water to enjoy a massive feast. In 2015, biologists discovered several fragmented leg bone fossils which originated from Palaeoloxodon namadicus. They speculated that Palaeoloxodon namadicus might be the largest land mammal in recorded history, although this conclusion has not yet gained universal consensus in the biological community. It still speaks volumes about the colossal size of this beast. Palaeoloxodon namadicus is an extinct genus of mammalian elephants. They lived from the Middle to Late Pleistocene, primarily distributed across modern-day India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. The stature of Palaeoloxodon namadicus was truly enormous. Adults could reach a shoulder height of 4.5 meters, with weights exceeding 10 tons, roughly double that of a modern African elephant. Some individuals even reached heights of 5.2 meters and weighed up to 22 tons. Their limbs were long and slender, standing much taller than those of modern Asian elephants standing in the dense forest. They resembled a moving mountain. The skull of Palaeoloxodon namadicus rose high, like the prominent forehead of a wise old sage. This was a unique structure evolved to support highly developed chewing muscles. Their tusks were even more spectacular. The tusks of a male Palaeoloxodon namadicus could sometimes grow to 2.5 or even 3 meters in length. These were not just for defense, but served as weapons for males competing for mates. Beyond its massive size and striking features, the habits of Palaeoloxodon namadicus were also quite distinct. They primarily inhabited mountainous forests and lowland woodlands, feeding on succulent plants with low fiber content. The molars of these giant elephants were adapted to grinding coarse grasses. On the high-crowned grinding surfaces, there were over 20 low ridges, allowing them to digest food with high efficiency. However, the golden age of Palaeoloxodon namadicus did not last forever. With shifting climates and environmental changes, these prehistoric giants gradually marched toward extinction. Today, we can only look to fossils to catch a glimpse of their former glory. When speaking of ocean giants, you might immediately think of ferocious sharks or majestic whales. However, today's protagonist is a gentle and elegant, colossal giant, Leedsichthys. Imagine for a moment, back in the Middle Jurassic period, between 165 to 152 million years ago, a massive fish roamed the oceans. Its body was like a floating mountain in the sea, yet its temperament was that of a gentle giant. This is Leedsichthys. The name, Leedsichthys, might sound a bit obscure and tongue-twisting, but it actually hides a fascinating story. In 1886, fossil collector Alfred Nicholson Leeds, in Peterborough, England, discovered the fossils of this giant fish and named it after himself. However, the fossil specimen was extremely fragmented, making it difficult to identify and describe. Consequently, Leeds chose Problematicus as its species name. Today, this name has instead become the unique hallmark of Leedsichthys, although scientists have yet to find Serenity Complete Leedsichthys fossil. Based on existing fragments and skeletal structures, we can estimate that an adult size could be comparable to today's largest fish, the whale shark, or even larger. Some scientists even believe Leedsichthys might be the largest bony fish to ever exist. Just imagine a giant fish exceeding 16 meters in length, swimming leisurely through the ocean. Does not that seem absolutely mind-blowing? And yet, despite its massive size, its feeding method was quite similar to the modern whale shark. They would swim slowly, taking huge gulps of seawater, then using mesh-like gill structures to filter small animals like fish and shrimp. It is like us using a sieve at the beach to scoop up tiny fish and prawns, except the sieve of Leedsichthys was much bigger and far more efficient to find those planktonic organisms that gather in massive swarms seasonally, the so-called nutrient soup areas. They might embark on long-distance migrations. There, Leedsichthys could feast to its heart's content, just like we would pig out at a food festival. Even with their enormous size, in that perilous Jurassic Ocean, Leedsichthys had to face threats from various predators. Fierce carnivores were all natural enemies of Leedsichthys. Facing these foes, the only weapon Leedsichthys had was its powerful tail. Once under attack, Leedsichthys would lash out with its tail to increase its chances of escape. But even so, if cornered by multiple predators, its chances of survival remained slim. If you have seen the movie The Meg, you have already witnessed the shocking terror of this oceanic titan. Megalodon, also known as the big tooth shark, lived approximately 23 million to 2.6 million years ago. It was one of the largest predatory fish in Earth's history. Its body length could easily exceed 18 meters. Some scientists even speculate there may have existed massive individuals, measuring over 20 meters in length. But do not think for a second that size is its only charm. The most bone-chilling aspect of the Megalodon is its mouth and those nightmare-inducing teeth. With a gape exceeding 2 meters in width, it could easily swallow a small car whole. As for those razor-sharp teeth, each one is as large as an adult's palm. The edges are as sharp as a professional razor and lined with serrated ridges. These teeth are not just powerful, they possess an incredible bite force and are extremely durable. Even if one falls out, another grows back, ensuring the Megalodon remains serenity and apex predator throughout its entire life. Just imagine it. When a Megalodon prowls the water at high speed, its massive body is like an underwater missile, while its teeth serve as the lethal warhead. Whether it was the lords of the sea, the whales, or any other large marine creature, all appeared utterly fragile before the Megalodon. A single bite might be all it took to instantly incapacitate an opponent and turn them into a meal. Fossil records indicate that the Megalodon's primary diet included large marine mammals, such as whales and seals. Its preferred prey likely also included baleen whales and other massive fish. The Megalodon's colossal size and streamlined body allowed it to move through the water with swift efficiency, and its senses, especially its smell and electroreception, enabled it to detect potential prey from great distances. Some researchers believe that the Megalodon may have exhibited social behaviors similar to modern orcas. Such a social structure would have helped in hunting and surviving in an environment full of challenges and competition. In 2015, Patagonia, in southern Argentina, celebrated a very special moment. After years of being on world tours, the Patagotitan specimen finally returned to its homeland. During the exhibition, its skeleton was so humongous that its head had to extend from the fourth-floor hall straight into the corridor. The bones required 50 crates and 2 large trucks for transportation. Among them, single-leg bone measured 1.9 meters long, taller than the average human. Whether compared to the 20-ton Paraceratherium or the largest elephants of today, all seem like mere dwarfs next to the Patagotitan. This titan could reach 37 meters in length, with a weight reaching a staggering 69 tons. It is undoubtedly a heavyweight member of Earth's history. The completeness of the Patagotitan's fossils has left paleontologists in utter awe. With a total of 145 bones, it is more complete than any other known dinosaur fossil. Its pelvis spans 4 meters wide, and its femur is 2.5 meters long, leaving the T-Rex far in the dust. Even when lying on its side, the Patagotitan was taller than the hip height of a standing T-Rex. It was truly a rival that even the Tyrant King could not match. However, what factors drove the Patagotitan to evolve toward such gigantism? As paleontologists perform 3D scans and identifications on the fossils, the appearance of the Patagotitan and its living habits are gradually coming to light. 90 million years ago, in Patagonia, the climate was warm and humid, with lush, thriving vegetation. This provided giants like Patagotitan with an ideal and comfortable environment to thrive. However, Patagotitan was not born a behemoth. During their infancy, they were relatively small, roughly the size of a grapefruit. Unlike carnivorous dinosaurs that carefully nurture their young, Patagotitan would leave immediately after laying their eggs, leaving the hatchlings to fend for themselves. Consequently, many hatchlings were devoured by predators while looking for a mother who was not there. The number of eggs laid by a Patagotitan was staggering. We can even find the embryonic forms of these giants within fossils. These fossils have provided paleontologists with precious clues to understand the reproduction and growth behaviors of Patagotitan. For a very long time, the blue whale has been considered the largest animal to ever exist on Earth. Its body length can stretch to over 20 meters, and its weight can reach a massive 200,000 kilograms. The blue whale is not just majestic in stature. Its internal organs are equally heavyweight. For instance, its skull weighs up to 3,000 kilograms. Its liver weighs 1,000 kilograms, and it carries up to 8,000 kilograms of blood. The heart alone weighs 500 kilograms, roughly the size of a small car, making it the largest heart known to science. Its thickest arteries are so wide that a human child could swim through them. Furthermore, it possesses an incredible skeletal structure and internal organ scale, capable of unleashing a powerful force equivalent to approximately 1,500 horsepower. Despite the blue whale's colossal size, its skeletal structure is not suited for life on land. Therefore, they chose to dwell in the water, using the buoyancy of the ocean to alleviate the immense pressure of their own weight. Even at birth, a blue whale calf is already remarkably large, surpassing the size of an adult elephant. In the early stages of life, they consume 400 liters of mother's milk every day and grow at an astonishing rate. The appetite of an adult blue whale is legendary. They can swallow 2 million krill in a single mouthful. If they were not specialized krill eaters, their predatory capabilities would be truly terrifying. The abundant food resources of the polar regions provide the blue whale with ample room to grow. Despite their massive bulk, they are by no means slow swimmers. They usually cruise at 3 to 5 kilometers per hour, but in emergencies they can accelerate up to 40 kilometers per hour. The blue whale is not just a champion of size, but also of longevity. Their lifespan is similar to that of humans, reaching 80 to 90 years, with some individuals even recorded to live over 110 years. The sound of a blue whale is equally earth-shattering, reaching 188 decibels. That is louder than a jet engine taking off. And the sound can travel up to 80 kilometers. However, due to the frequency of their calls, which lies outside the range of human hearing, we do not perceive the sound as being that intense. Like other mammals, the blue whale relies on its lungs to breathe. It must periodically surface to exchange air, shooting a 4-meter-high waterspout into the sky. It is a truly spectacular sight. In 2010, at that time, Peruvian paleontologist Mario Urbina and his team were searching for fossil remains along the southern coast of Peru. Before long, they unexpectedly discovered a massive block. Enormously massive vertebral fossils were so gargantuan in size that the personnel on site at first mistook them for some kind of skeletal deformity. The excavation went deeper. What was even more astounding was that they unearthed 13 consecutive, equally massive vertebral fossils, along with 4 large ribs and parts of a pelvis. These fossils undoubtedly pointed to serenity and unprecedented prehistoric marine colossus. All these precious fossil specimens were transferred to the National University of San Marcos. After meticulous research and comparison by paleontologists, they confirmed these fossils belong to the Basilosauridae family, serenity, an extinct lineage of ancient whales, of which the Basilosaurus is the most well-known. Since the initial discovery, and through 10 years of in-depth exploration, paleontologists finally, on August 10, 2023, published a research paper titled "A Heavyweight Early Whale Pushes the Boundaries of Vertebrate Morphology." This massive whale found in Peru was named Perucetus colossus. Given its classification within Basilosauridae, paleontologists reconstructed the Perucetus colossus by referencing species with complete fossil records in that family, recognizing that different species in Basilosauridae have varying numbers of vertebrae. They first used the Basilosaurus, which has a higher vertebral count. As a baseline, they estimated the Perucetus colossus could reach 20.1 meters in length, with a weight potentially exceeding 380,000 kilograms, equivalent to 126 elephants, or 5,400 adult humans. Keep in mind, even among the blue whale populations, specifically the massive Antarctic subspecies, the average weight of an adult male is only about 112,000 kilograms. Therefore, the size of Perucetus colossus far exceeds that of a blue whale, potentially making it the largest cetacean in history, and perhaps the largest animal to ever walk or swim on Earth. The reason Perucetus colossus could possess such a shocking body mass is best evidenced by its fossils. Each vertebra weighs over 100 kilograms. The total skeletal weight is between 5.3 and 7.6 tons, which is 2 to 3 times the skeletal weight of a 25-meter-long blue whale. The bones of Perucetus colossus are not just huge, they are significantly thickened and weighted, exhibiting characteristics similar to Pachyosteosclerosis. This makes its skeleton denser and sturdier than any other known cetacean, naturally resulting in a much more substantial weight. After ruling out pathological possibilities, the research team discovered that the vertebral volume of Perucetus colossus is nearly double that of a 25-meter blue whale's vertebrae. Paleontologists speculate that it might have lacked the ability for long-distance oceanic migration, tending to live in shallow waters, much like a manatee. In such an environment, its massive frame would serve as a natural ballast against the impact of waves. As for what a creature as massive as Perucetus colossus actually ate to satisfy its enormous daily energy requirements, it remains a mystery for now. Alright, that concludes everything for today's video. Of the 10 largest animals we introduced today, which one left the deepest impression on you? Feel free to let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.